What's up, loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with an all-new episode of Ladies Who List Atlanta. Let's get into it. So we're continuing with where I left off at with Crystal saying triggered. That is the word of the episode. Triggered. She tells Robin, "You're triggered. You're triggered. You're triggered. You're triggered," knowing that Robin has told her, "Stop saying that. That's not the first time that you said that I'm triggered. Stop saying that." Now, Robin smacks Crystal's hand. It was wrong of Robin to put her hands on her. At the same time, Crystal, you did provoke her. You were being antagonizing. You kept saying triggered, knowing that's going to be a buzzword for her to get more irate and more triggered. Okay? And Tiana is peeping the entire situation for what it is. Crystal, you're making it worse. Stop saying triggered. This is Crystal. Don't like the fact that somebody is not seeing the spell that she has put on everybody else about how everybody's supposed to be looking at the craziness of Robin. And I'm the one that's looking like the sane one, okay? She's the one that's crazy. Why are you telling me? Because you were the one that kept saying she's triggered. And Tiana says, "You're making it worse. Let it go. Stop saying triggered." Crystal tells Tiana to mind her business. You don't know her. Okay? That's my best friend. You don't know her. Be quiet. Mind your business. I found it extremely funny that when the situation with Kira and Kiana had nothing to do with Crystal, she still felt the need to come in and to silence Robin to give them the floor, but not tell Kiana and Kira to let her tell you her reasoning, let her tell you her explanation. She kept on trying to silence her because I think once that happened, everybody would have gotten an understanding. But Crystal doesn't want them to get an understanding of Robin is. She don't want them to. Crystal wants to be the main one, who is the sane one, who's the best one, who thinks that everybody else is beneath her, because that's how she looks at her friend Robin. She looks at Robin as someone who's beneath her because of where she came from, but she only gonna hold on to her because Robin does sell condos. Robin is true to how long she's been in the business. So of course she's not going to write her off like that, but she is going to treat her as if it wasn't for me being your friend, you wouldn't have been here. I just feel like Crystal is so not being a good friend to Robin right now, and to say she's your best friend. That's what Tiana was trying to understand. How are you her best friend if you're telling her that she's triggered when you know that she told you more than once to stop saying that? And Crystal was like, "I don't like confrontation, but I felt like that was confrontational." How was that confrontational, Crystal? But you don't like I'm sorry. How is it that you don't like confrontation, but you keep on buzzing in every 5 minutes to antagonize Robin to make sure that Kiana and Kira keep their foot on Robin's neck? You kept on egging them on to bring what they don't like about her or what she's done to them when she has been trying to find a space to give them what they wanted to hear. You didn't want her to do that. You wanted everybody to keep on coming at her so she can do a big explosion. She can look the crazy one like you wanted her to look like, right? Because that's how I'm looking at it. And that's not a friend. That is not a friend at all. And Robin peeped the entire situation. For someone who's supposed to have been my friend, you were putting gasoline throughout the entire situation. You just kept on putting little squirts of gasoline throughout the entire situation. And Crystal to me was completely having a mischievous glee about seeing Robin in that moment, right? So everybody is spread apart. Tiana tells her, "You're making it worse." I already said that. And Crystal, and I wrote this, in my opinion, is trying to point out the negative about Robin. She keeps on saying how she's always this upset. And they're like, "She always is upset and you're her friend." I'm like, how the hell you her friend and you're speaking negative about a friend that you called a best friend? That's why Tiana was like, "And you're her friend?" I wouldn't be sitting here trying to tell everybody she's always this upset when you know that's not true. And it's mind-boggling how Kiana feels like Robin is the only one who has an issue. Not Kiana, Crystal. Crystal feels like she's the only one that Robin has the issue, but she said, "No, girl, I'm peeping the whole entire situation for what it was. You have an issue too." But I also felt like Crystal doesn't believe she can have a problem. Crystal believes she doesn't she can't have an issue. She can't have a way of being condescending. She can't have a way of being antagonizing because of where her background is. That's how I look at it. She feels like because she came up middle class, she had parents who supported her, she has multiple businesses, there is no way I cannot be mean. There's no way I can't be condescending. There's no way I can have an elitist attitude. There's no way that I can showcase I'm not a good friend because this is where I came from. But it can. Everybody's circumstances does not mean that their personality or their what's the word, exterior is supposed to be, added to how they grew up. I could be the nicest person in the world, but I've had a fucked up upbringing. And then there's also people who've had the best upbringing in the world that could have a shitty attitude, that could have a shitty personality. That is obvious. Robin has mental health issues. She's had a hard life growing up, okay? Now, Robin does need to get control of her emotions. That's correct. And she needs to find other ways of not being easily triggered by things that's being said to her. But when you have a friend who you know have mental health issues, you know not to do that. And of course, Tiana and Tiffany was like, yo, this is fun. Let's go because we're not going to stay in this environment. I wouldn't stay in this environment either. I'm not going to do this. And it's so crazy because I love the fact that Tiffany and Tiana saw the whole situation what it was. And Tiffany said, I don't believe that Tiana said, I can't judge this entire event on Robin's behavior because I don't know her. I can't judge how I see her. I don't know her like that. But what I can say is Crystal. I know Crystal from high school. And to me, Crystal did not exhibit being a friend to Robin. For her poking and poking and poking and not empathizing with Robin's mental health was just not a good look. It was not a good behavior. It wasn't, I found it disturbing and how fucked up of a person who would do that. And Tiffany agreed because she didn't. Crystal showed no empathy towards Robin and her mental health issues when it was addressed the first time. And both Tiana and Tiffany left with saying, I would never do that to you. No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. No. Because they all saw it for what it was. Then it led to Crystal trying to tell Tiffany, this had nothing to do with you. This is my best friend. You can leave me. You can stay out of this. But like it was, Crystal, the situation with Kira and Kiana had nothing to do with you. If you wanted to be a listening ear or you wanted to be a soundboard or mediate, you didn't mediate the right way. You mediated in a way where you wanted everybody to come at Robin. You have set everything to play for everybody to come at Robin, not to let her explain herself. No. So, Crystal says, Keon, you know me, Robin, are best friends. I know how to handle Robin. So I didn't appreciate how a stranger wanted to come in and tell him how I should stop when she don't know me. She'll know that me and my friend banter back and forth like this. No, Crystal, you don't banter back and forth like that. You don't. I'm trying to understand what best friend mean to you. And I want to know what line of friends do you have. Because I feel like you seek out a way to make sure you are better than a friend. I honestly feel like people listen to your problems, but you don't have any ounce of empathy or space in your self-righteousness to listen to their problems. But you want to listen to you want to listen to their insecurities. You want to listen to their weak moments. You want to listen to their vulnerability. You want to listen to that. But it comes to actually finding out who that person is, what they like, what they don't like, what makes them laugh, what makes them cry. You don't want to listen to that. It be the secrets that you want to pay attention to. So, it was just a bunch of pretty much Kira, Kiana, and Crystal talking shit about Robin. Kiana feels like I've never seen her this upset, but I still want to have a conversation with her because that wasn't right. That's not cool. Kira had her shoes off for some odd reason because the way that she came at Crystal and that was her friend, she might would come around and sneak me. Kira, your situation is not that important. It's minute. It's irrelevant at this point. It was stupid when you mentioned it, and it's stupid how you're carrying on by taking your shoes off. Girl, bye. And of course, Keon said it wasn't ladylike. It wasn't ladylike. And the one thing that I wish that they would have told her I was watching this scene, while Kira's still trying to explain how the unfollowing was really Robin's problem, and I wanted a simple answer as to why she unfollowed me, this girl was chewing with fries in her mouth, and it was bothering me. I'm like, chew your food. Chew your food, Kira. Girl, you are a grown woman. Chew your food, then talk. Do not talk with your mouth open, okay? Stop doing that. And then she felt like it was a deflection of Robin not taking accountability that she didn't follow you. Okay, she said the algorithm, not the answer you wanted to hear, a very lazy and dismissive answer at the same point in time, Kira. This was about an unfollow. Are we still going about an unfollow? It really bothers you that much that she unfollowed you. And let's not forget, Kira, you said Crystal and Robin unfollowed at the same time. Why aren't you directing that same question and energy to Crystal? But Crystal, who wanted to make sure everything stayed on Robin, she wanted to come out and say, I understand how you mean, because an unfollow on social media can mean a lot to a person, you know? And we want to know, how did that happen? If you guys were going like this, I'm like, oh, Crystal, you have manipulated this entire situation to absolve you, because we forget. Did we not get clarification as to why you walked up to Kira and said you know her when y'all have had dinner? And then we know the next episode, I'm already going to give a full, sneak peek. Crystal is going to try to uproot Kira, because she really is trying to absolve herself of not putting out her explanation of why she unfollowed Kira, because I do believe Robin don't give a damn. She don't give a damn, okay? And if you are so concerned about it, I do believe you probably know what a much of a how much gain it will be if you got Robin on your side, because she says she's been in the business for 20 years, so she knows what she's doing. So, okay. See, it was just it's dumb. And like she said, she was talking about a collab, but yet people have mistrust, and I still don't know why she unfollowed me. It was stupid. Get the fuck over it. Then Crystal wants to bring up her background as to how she was raised, which is why she acts the way she acts. Kira and Kiana both have came from humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? They both struggled. They both struggled to get to where they are right now. So I'm not going to give Robin that pass. What I didn't like was the fact that you went that route to explain Robin's behavior when she's told you she has mental illnesses. She's told you, I have been burned by women in my life. I don't have a very soft, safe place for women. That I don't trust them the way that they burned me in the past. So using her background was a little bit nerving for me. But Kiana and Kira, have you guys ever been kicked out of your home at 16 and pregnant and had to figure it out on your own? I don't think so. Kira going on about how we slept in cars. We were without food and water. We've had to live off of hot sauces and crackers and chips and stuff like that. I'm understanding of all of that, Kira, but you had someone on your side to help you get to where you at. Kiana, you had someone on your side to get to where you're at. Robin had nobody. She was 16 and pregnant and out of her home. The women in her family pretty much left her for dead at that point. So the fact that you are not showing any ounce of empathy towards her because you can't use your upbringing as a way to be an asshole to folks, no, you can't. But at the same time, you guys weren't even going to give Robin that sense of space anyway, because y'all didn't like what she told you. Granted, did it come off dismissive? It could have, because she came out, y'all came at her left and right. Kiana, you wanted more of a clarification as to why she charged you for the contracts. You didn't like it. She said it was tabled. Kira, you talked about an unfollow. Okay, well, I unfollowed you. I don't have an issue with you, so why is this an issue? Moving forward, I'm not doing this. Kiana wants to say, first of all, I'm not coming down on Robin, but if you can't control your emotions, you can't control a business. I beg to differ. If Robin has been in this industry for over 20 years and she's never had to cross paths with issues like this, I believe she knows how to separate the two. Hence, so why, maybe this is why she doesn't really open up to women like this. I really just want to keep it as a business perspective, because once I open that door, we're going to get this shit. And this is true. There are a lot of people or a lot of women who do get into business, and then it comes to lean over being personal. You guys forget, we're in a business. We need to take that personal shit out of it. So that's probably why Robin chooses her battles wisely when it comes to dealing with business with women. As far as like being trustful, yes, you get money. But as far as me telling you who my life is, what I do, don't do, my personal, no, because you're going to end up using that against me, and I'm not going to be trustworthy. Now, I know some folks have to be open to trust, but not like that. Then, of course, Crystal starts to cry. And I'm like, why are y'all calling this woman crying? I see no tears. I feel like I see a smirk while she's crying. And they said, need to have a conversation. And Robin said, I know Robin doesn't have a lot of friendships with women, and I know she has a hard time being vulnerable and open. But I feel terrible about what happened. If you feel terrible, Crystal, why did you speak up? Why did you say she was triggered if you knew all of this? Okay. Robin, she's doing yoga, and of course, yoga is the only reason why she is sitting in that confessional chair telling you where I'm at right now. And she felt angry, attacked, and betrayed because Robin is her best friend. And of course, if you've had a best friend, you know what that would look like. That's not what Crystal exhibited. It looks like Crystal was trying to figure out what side she was on, and that's correct. And if it was reversed, if Crystal was the one trying to tell them or sell something to them, she wouldn't have let that happen. Now, I also want to understand, Robin, are you the main one giving Crystal the pep talk, the woo woo, the support, the cry on the shoulder? Has she ever done that to you? I have no idea because I feel like the term best friend is being used loosely. I would say you guys are just friends, acquaintances. Like, I can't say best friend because I can't say best friend. I don't know. No. It's giving. Oh God. It's frenemy. It's frenemy tease, and it's also I'm only with you because you make me a lot of money, and you tend to have good conversations. But other than that, I see nothing for you. That's what I feel. Um. Yup. So as obviously she is really crying. She's really trying to calm herself down as to where to move forward with Crystal. Because at the end of the day, women are not a safe zone for her. Never. So of course she, had to raise herself when she was 16 and pregnant. The women that of course wore blood to her led her astray, pushed her aside. She had to raise herself. And she doesn't know whether or not she wants Crystal to be her friend moving forward from this. Kiana, she's at home doing business. Her husband comes over. She tells him what happened that night about how it got escalated. I wanted to be honest. I wanted to tell Robin how she made me feel. And she got spicy because she started to open up about this brokerage so we could take over Atlanta, which was a good idea. But I cannot move forward unless we start this off, right? So this is where Kiana kind of lost me. Now, she said she wanted to charge her $500 contract, right? But then she said first it was 26 contract, then it's 29 contracts. Kiana, 26 and 29 are two different numbers, baby. They're not the same unless you flip them upside down. But other than that, how is it if you go from 26 to 29? Cool. Then of course it was kind of like she didn't like the dismissive remarks she got from Robin by telling her, "Okay, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but can we get over that now? Can we like table it? Cause this is a more of a deeper conversation you want to have." But to me, I felt like Kiana dismissed the fact that Robin went through mental illness because she said Robin was going through mental and stuff like that. And but we're gonna have a full conversation. And then Kira got into it with her over an unfollow. I looked at her husband's face. He was like, "An unfollow? For real? How old are we?" But okay, I'ma smile because I don't give a shit. Then of course, then we talked about the age. You know how Kira brought up the age, and I know what Kira meant. She meant how old folks like to be on the new kid on the block, but that's not how it was, Kira. If you are really concerned about this, I'm not talking about this anymore. I've done talking about this. Because it was wrong for Kira to bring up aging. And then, of course, Kira said she'll shit on Robin. That was a little bit too much. A little bit of you being a paid little girl. So stop. And then, while seeing Crystal telling Robin over and over, she's triggered, Kiana thought she saw the Incredible Hulk getting meaner and greener and bigger and everything else, right? So she wants to have a conversation because Robin is always good people. So I want to have a conversation, get it resolved. I want to understand how long are we going to talk about this? I am done talking about this because I feel like the only person who is losing sleep over this is Kiana. You've never had a follow up with her when she gave you her price. So since you assumed that because she was your husband's friend that led to being your friend, you thought she'd do you a favor. If she did not know that, you need to call and remind her or call and say, okay, you gave me a price, but I'm not too sure if I'm understanding. Why are you giving me a price? She'll give you your answer. And I've been watching everybody's other reviews And they're saying they have it's usually a price between 300 to 1,500 to hold a contract. So the fact that she gave you 5, she gave you a discount. If it was not your liking, you can easily call her back and get a more understanding. I wish you would have contacted her before the conversation, so wouldn't have gotten that. But Kiana, let's be honest, while Robin needs to hold her emotions better, you waited for that moment because you could have easily hit up Robin when you found out that she wanted to have dinner with everybody. You could have called her heads up and get that squash, but you didn't because you wanted to wait until that dinner to make sure everybody said no, because you didn't want nobody to work with Robin, whether or not the idea was good or bad, because you wanted everybody to be on your side about how she treated you, which we have no clarity on. Moving forward, moving on. Tiffany, she's at a designer store with a close friend who is a very well-known designer. Him and her have the very same clients in the entertainment and sports field, and they're talking about how big the seller's market is, and is it right, is it good? So he wants to put his penthouse up for sale, which is a golden opportunity for Tiana to get a jump on. Then they talk about this is what's for the last night. You know how Crystal was the one egging everything on by saying you're triggered, you triggered. I was triggered. Tiana says she knew Crystal from high school, so when she saw her coming to the dinner, she was excited. Maybe they can rekindle a friendship, but right now I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about that because I feel like she was definitely poking and provoking, because it's like you're trying to tell someone who's calm, tell them to calm down. Stop telling me to calm down. If I'm upset, don't tell me to calm down. Let me get through it, okay? So Tiffany definitely felt triggered by hearing that Robin is still going through mental health issues. So she wants to have a conversation with her because a little small thing in your mind can make you go over the edge. And she wants to know how Robin got home. Did she get home okay? And I don't want her to get into a deeper hole, because once you get in that hole, it's hard for you to get out. And I can sympathize with her. And Tiana agrees. Someone needs to be there for her so she can know she's not alone. And I love the fact that Tiana and Tiffany are seeing it for what it was. And Tiffany's going to reach out because she's been through that. And I love it. I completely love it. Crystal, she's talking to her therapist. And of course, she tells him what happened. I'm dealing with my best friend, Robin. I don't know if I mentioned you in my sessions. I feel like I never had to, right? So, in a nutshell, I'm not even going to, because this was bullshit to me. Crystal was basically saying Robin was attacked by 2 women, right? And she felt like she can come in and mitigate the situation. But once she said she was triggered, she never thought that saying she was triggered would upset Robin, and how Robin would be mad at her and not see how she was trying to mediate the situation. And I am like, girl, I'm not doing this with you, Crystal. I feel like Crystal never spoke any part of this conversation or any spoken about what happened last night as the truth. Even though she said Robin was attacked, if you knew how Robin felt attacked, why would you not think to find other ways of calming the situation down than saying triggered? Which meaning you did not want everything to be calmed down. You wanted it to be more. You wanted it to be more of a crazy situation so everybody can point the finger at Robin. That's what you wanted to happen. Now, even though Robin did put her hands on her, that was wrong. But Crystal needs to own her part into how it happened. That's what she needs to do, okay? And how saying she is more emotionally complex than I am. And then how she knows about Robin, she's now finally understanding Robin for real, okay? She learned about her being a young mom at 16, raising herself, has figured out on her own, and now I didn't know that me saying that she was triggered would trigger her. And I believe that the therapist was just there to say, okay, I don't even think, see, the fact that Crystal never told her all the story, the therapist never knew exactly where to go to give her advice. All she can tell her was, I believe it's time to create boundaries. Because yes, she shouldn't have put her hands on her, but that's all Crystal wanted to be heard. The fact that I need boundaries on my friend because she put her hands on me. Not I need to be more of a friend and not tell her that she's triggered when I know that's going to set her off. I am not being a good friend to her as I'm saying I am. No. Like I said, it was really annoying me the entire time in this therapy session that all I got was from the therapist telling Crystal, "You're right, you're right, you're the victim and Robin is the villain." No. No. Kira, she's showing B. Simone another condo. It's a much bigger place. It's still in the $500,000 range, and it's not enough. It's still not enough. Okay, I think it was still 500,000. It was 2 bed, 2.5 bath, 1,300 square foot. She loved everything else about it, but needed more space. I'm like, you know what, B. Simone, at this point, just get a damn house. Just get a house and hire somebody to take care of the yard work and everything else, because to still have space, what other space do you need? It's just you. That's whatever. So, but then in the midst of Kira showing this space in this condominium, this is also another condominium that Robin sells in. Remember, Kira, you tried to shit on Robin, how she only sells in the Healy building downtown, how she doesn't sell anywhere else. That's all she sells. Well, this is another area that is obviously an upscale area than downtown, and she sells this too. Cool. Now you cool, fine. I see you, Kira. And then obviously looking for more spaces for her to find, right? And Kira tells B. Simone, okay, let's hurry up and leave. There's another agent here and I don't want her to see me. I thought that was unprofessional and very catty and very petty and childlike of Kira to tell a client. Now, I know they're friends, but to tell a client that she has a little bit of an issue with the agent in the building. Not the time, not the place, unprofessional. And Kira, you're egging this situation on than what it was, because Robin says she has no issue with you. You are making the obvious of how you want to have an issue with her, because for what, I don't know. God, I don't know. Moving on. Robin meets up with Tiffany. They dressed alike, and she said it's nice to have someone who is in the same boat with me within mental illnesses, and how it's not looked upon being funny or joked about. And Robin has kids who are 32 and 24. She looks amazing at her age, okay? And Tiffany's wanted to meet up with her because she had no support in that situation. She definitely felt she was attacked, and she wanted to be there for her. When she was backed into a corner, Robin said, Tiffany lended me a lifeline. I was literally drowning, and she literally gave me a lifeline and saved me, okay? And now that, Robin has been, I'm still healing, you know what I'm saying? But I've never gotten the papers that said I was healed. I'm still going through that. And as much as it was, Crystal practically just said, I am not afraid to admit that I have mental instability. And that's pretty much, a word that I used to be afraid to say, because I didn't want to admit that my brain wasn't functioning properly, okay? And she immediately felt alone, and she felt out there. And then we know more about Robin's background. Like I said, she was kicked out when she was pregnant at 16 by her mother, but her mother had 3 kids by the time she was 16. So she felt like, how the hell you gonna kick me out when you had 3 kids by the time you was 16? You're not gonna, okay. And Tiffany understood that, because even though she never had a kid at 16, but she did have a kid at 19, and she was, skipping school, partying, and it was hard. It was tough. And Robin also was, diagnosed, I would say, early as a child. She was crying all the time. She was depressed. And then as she got older, she has ADHD and severe anxiety, depression. And that's why Tiffany can empathize with her, because she's not going to say she was depressed, but she had a lot of severe anxiety and panic attacks. She never wanted to leave the house. She lost so much weight. She was crying. Her husband had to quit his job. And she was afraid to go outside. She would die. Something would happen to her. So, of course, Tiffany obviously recognized the fact that Crystal is not going to give any ounce of empathy towards Robin's mental illnesses. And the stigma around mental illnesses is still being, talked about. Because when you are growing up and you feel something's wrong, as a child, you're being told you can't cry, you need to suck it up, you need to move forward. You pretty much move forward, get over what you're crying for, not really having a full discussion, because at that time, nobody can understand exactly what was happening. Since we don't want to actually seek out information, we're going to just say, go ahead, leave me alone, send you out to the wolves, you go on, goodbye. And it was nice to be able to have this conversation with Tiffany. It was nice to literally sit down and talk about this. And Tiffany was going to introduce her to her therapist so she can help her out, because, yes, Crystal was definitely taunting her like a little kid, how you have mental illnesses. And oh, I'm sorry, Robin's going through some mental illnesses. Excuse her. You know, like pretty much brushing her off as if talking about mental illnesses is something to be joked about. It's a very serious thing to talk about. I am battling with depression. I am battling with anxiety. And I have to push myself every single day to wake up, do something to my hair, get dressed, smile, and not stress out to capacity. I have to deal with that every day. My mom has to deal with that every day. It is crazy to go through, okay? And I love the fact that they are having this conversation. I love that. I hope they will stay together as friends moving forward. And she said, God had me go through all this so I can live my life the way that I am now. He saved me, okay? And I don't try to strive to look better than anybody, you know, because Robin does look amazing at her age. She looks great. Then we get to Tiana. Tiana is showing is inside her new client's house. It is a gorgeous penthouse. Okay, it is a 2-story penthouse. I think it was 1,900 square foot, 2.5 bedrooms. Yeah. Of course, they regutted everything. They had some custom designs. It had some luxury stairs. I love the windows. I love the open view, the patio. It was an amazing place, I would say. Kira, this is where you need to take B Simone. Okay, you slacking. So now the client wants to know, is this a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? How much do you think we can go for? Now, she said 1.5. Now, of course, he did spend a lot of money refurbishing, because he wants to sell the entire penthouse with the furniture added to it. So he wants more for his buck. He don't want to get gypped, okay? And of course, it's a 2-bed, 2.5 bath. Of course, not a lot of people in Atlanta wants an apartment. They don't want a penthouse because they want open space, family style, a lot of yard. They don't want something like this. Maybe something from New York or LA can understand how living like this will work. So we're going to see, because it just ended it right when she said 1.5. And we don't know what's going to happen in the next episode. Let's end it with Kiana. She is speaking to Robin, and the entire time, Kiana just wanted to be understood as to why you dismissed me by saying, can we get over that now? Can we conversate? Now, Robin did say more than once she apologized to her profusely, and she never apologized to anybody, not even a bunch of strangers. And Robin said my apology was genuine. It just felt brushed off and dismissive because you were expecting me to just, bend down and say, okay, I was wrong, I'm sorry. But the fact that you came at me with that before I can even catch my breath, Kira wants to come at me before I can catch my breath, Crystal trying to tell me something before I can catch my breath. So I just said what I wanted to say so I can get everybody to get off my fucking case, because I'm about to be on defense mode. My mind is not clicking. You're going to have to give me 50 feet. You know what I'm saying? And Kiana, of course, still wants it to be understood, business is business. And I feel like she needs more of an approach of how to address me with business. Now, I am still confused, Kiana. You said when you were in the break of trying to develop your own brokerage, you wanted her to do you a favor as a friend of your husband, as a friend of you. So how are you now saying it was business? If it was business, your business mindset would have done was negotiate another form of payment or another number that you were comfortable with when Robin asked you for the fee. That's all I need to understand. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, apology. I've apologized to you. And then, of course, she wanted to judge her on her response. And Kiana went on to tell her how to apologize. I wanted you to say, Robin, I hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to. But right now, this is a more deeper conversation. Can we talk about this later? That's all you could have said. Either way, Kiana, I don't believe you would have given her that space to say that, because you didn't hear the answer you wanted to hear, right? And like she said, I gave you that. I said, you want me to take you to dinner? You want me to do your feet? Because when you said we were going to table it, you kept bringing it up. You kept talking about it. So at the same time, while I was still trying to talk about it, it made me be in defense mode. Like, okay, I don't know what else this girl wants me to say. I've apologized. We said we was going to table it. You still want to bring it up. So don't judge my response. Judge your behavior, because you wanted to make a scene in front of everybody. You wanted to make a scene and come at me. And Kiana, you need to be admitted to that. Okay? And while Robin's trying to get Kiana to admit, were you or were you not being? Were you not being pushy? Now, she didn't even say the tone. She just said, did you or did you not keep bringing it up? She said, I did, but I wasn't aggressive. And Robin is like, at the end of the day, I can't take Kiana's passive aggressive tone. I can't take it. But we are going to get to the bottom of it because you kept this in for an entire year. You have kept this entire feeling of how what I did to you about the money and the contracts for an entire year, and I'm just not hearing about it. So let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about the money. You were going to talk about it. And that was the end of the episode. I do not want to talk about this anymore. I need clarification. And like I said, Kiana, why is it now 26 contracts and now it being 29? Okay. And why would you think she would do this for free? And you're now saying from a business mindset, if it was I don't know why I'm repeating myself, because I just feel like this was everybody, Kiana, Crystal, and Kira are making this entire situation on Robin, and that is not the case. Everybody played a part in where it led to this situation. Kira with this bullshit ass reason to have an excuse with Kira to Robin. Kiana, who waited all this time to talk about a situation that could have been easily addressed if she had spoken up before then. Crystal wanted to make everybody else look at Robin like a crazy person. Okay, Robin needs to get control of her emotions and not get triggered so easily. That's all I wanted to say, because this entire conversation, I just got really mad about how Kiana still wanted to drill it into Robin how she made her feel, but she's not looking at her. Robin did apologize to you, and I felt like Robin's apology was sincere to you, Kiana. You just didn't like how it came off. But if it was tabled for you to get a more understanding, you should have been quiet and sat there. But you wanted to keep on talking about it. Anyway, I'm done. You guys stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.